You know, it's not to approve or disapprove of what's happening, but we do have to face some serious facts. And we've talked about it on the show continuously, but starting in 2014 with the U.S.-backed coup, and then for the subsequent 8 years, the U.S. and NATO were shipping in weapons, were training Ukrainian military, and they were all training to do one thing, which is defeat Russia. There is no country on earth that would not respond in some way or the other to the fact that their neighbors were being armed and trained by hostile powers overseas with the intent of overthrowing that country's government. No country would react differently. No country would just ignore it and let it go. Now, it's been 8 years. And you might say for the U.S. side, well, maybe it's important enough. Why would you do something like this? Why would you try to do this? Well, if it was is important enough to our national interest, critical national interest, it might make sense for us to do what we did. If we really were facing an existential threat from Russia, it might make sense to do what we did over the past 8 years in arming and training Ukraine. But I would argue very forcefully that it absolutely meant nothing, zero, to our national interest, whether the eastern part of Ukraine would rather join Russia, would rather join Uganda or whatever. It doesn't mean anything. So we're basically on the precipice of World War III, and we're staring over for no appreciable benefit to our own security. On the contrary.
And I think that's the point to be made, is it is very important to us, but not because it's to provide security for us. It's destroying our security and doing exactly the opposite. They're just blinded to what they're doing. And if they can get away with lying and innuendos and propagandas and keep this thing going, pretending it's always for national security purposes. I mean, how many times do they need it? You know, it was pretty bad when the Speaker of the House went to China and talked about our national security and our Constitution and our liberties and all that stuff. That sort of gives me a sick feeling.
Yeah.
I don't believe her.
No, I know. I don't think many people do, actually.